Hello, I'm going to walk through this Gumbo side hustle income tracker with everybody, and hopefully this overview will help you better understand how to use it. Okay, so along the bottom here, if we just look at the tabs, you have dashboard, income log, expenses, platform summary, tax estimator, goals, and annual summary. Now, all of these sheets work together. All right. Uh, the annual summary states 2026 because the dashboard says 2026. The dates are in 2026 because we're in the year for 2026. The income is in 2026 because we're in the year of 2026. The expenses are and so forth. Okay. Now, how it works is just basically follow the guidelines over here in column H. Column H will guide you through each tab and will show you basically what you should touch and what you should not touch or modify. If you see this stop sign, then do not do or touch the things that it tells you not to do. So do not type anything directly on this tab except the yellow year cell. Okay. Do not delete any cells. All values pull automatically from other tabs. Now, you can modify this top if you don't like the name, right? If you want to change it to something else, definitely change it to your business or whatever else that you want. The year, and you can move this little yellow sticky out the way. Just click it and drag it. But the year, you can modify this. This is the yellow cell. So for instance, let's just walk through one example of what this does. So all the dates are 2026. So your yellow cell needs to be 2026. If you change this from 2026 to 2027, your data will disappear, right? And that is because all of your income, your expenses are coming from 2026. Okay. 2026. Now, the moment that you change it to your data to 2027, then it will update. Okay. So the best practice will be to save out the spreadsheet for the years that you want to use it for. So because we're in 2026, you'll have a 2026 version. When we go to 2027, you'll have a 2027 version and so forth. So you just want to save as up here, save as, find a place that you're going to save it at, and then save it in those locations. Okay. That's going to help you basically put your files where you want to put them at and save individual files based off of your need. Now, let's walk through an example. We have the year 2027. Let's say this is the beginning of January 2027. I'm going to change some of this data for the first to 2027. And let's say this one for $17. That'll be easy. The RIM method ebook. So that means that January 2027, I made $17.99. My goal is $500, and I'm at 3.6% of my goal. Now, where's your goals at? Well, that's later on down in the tabs here. So let's just take a look at it since we're talking about goals. All right, so on the goals tab for January 2027, as you see, all the dates update according to the dashboard's date. So if this was 2026, it would say 2026 from top to bottom. I had a goal set for $500. Now, as soon as you start making money or income within that month, this will change automatically to in progress, meaning that it's in progress of tracking you making it to that goal. It's very important for me to use this form because from my standpoint, I set goals for myself as a business owner and entrepreneur just to see if I can reach those goals. But I also want to try to be realistic. So some of these I just made for the sake of this form. Hopefully it'll inspire some of you all. But I try to set realistic goals for myself. So let's say if a goal was let's say 300 or 500 bucks for January, then I can come into here and say, let's use the one-on-one coaching for example. Let me change these dates to 2027. They'll auto update inside of the list because this is pretty much where most of the money was being made on coaching. And I'm going to change these to January because that's where the month that we started in. The goals for. We're going to put one there. We're going to put one here. We're going to put one here. Okay. So all of these should be January. Oh, except this one. January. So when we come back, now that we know, all right, that's going to basically look into our goals. And voila, we've hit our goal. So basically, whatever you do for that month, you're trying to reach the goal for that month. So let's say if my goal really was 800 bucks, then it'll stay in the progress basically. So that's basically how that works. Now, I think that makes sense to everybody. I'm going to change the dashboard back to 2026 just for the sake of working with the data that we have. So more things will populate, and I'm going to change these back to 2026, and we'll say January, March, April, May, and 2026. We'll say this was May 2026. We'll say May 2026, and we'll say May. So May will turn out to be the better month. If we look at our goals tracker, May is now showing 600 bucks. It's in progress. It's a goal that I have in progress to reach 1,500 bucks for the month. But again, let's be realistic. Maybe we could say 700 bucks and it'll give you the difference, which is 100, okay, for your goal to reach. Now, expenses, I think that should explain income and your goals tracking. So let's look at the expenses for a second. If you're working with expenses, again, just use the how to use this tab. It'll tell you what not to edit, columns H, row 1 and 2. But as you get more expenses, you can add them into here. The tax deductible, just saying yes doesn't do anything. It's just a note for you specifically. You can say no, yes, maybe, you're not sure, it doesn't matter. But it's just notes for me that I use for myself to say, okay, well, when I come into my tax estimator, it's going to calculate the expenses that I have. Let's take a look at it since we're talking about it. The expenses that you have, the non-deductible expenses and total year expenses, which is 179.58, 179.58. And then your gross income, which is 754. You look here, 754. So it's basically pulling the amount of money that you're making, your taxable, your deductible, the self-employment tax rate, which is standard. You don't want to change that. Again, just look at what not to change. You can change your federal tax rate and your state tax rate. That changes based off of your state. And also, if you want to change the text in these boxes, just highlight them and come up here to the top, and you can change the cell, how it looks. Just use one of these, okay? Last but not least, the platform summary and annual summary. They pretty much do about the same thing. The platform, well, let's say the annual summary, since we're on this tab, just gives you the annual summary for your year. So we're in 2026, the year annual summary for income, expenses, net profit, your savings, your tax set aside, and your running totals. Okay. So for the total, let's say you get all the way to the end of the year, it's going to give you that. But let's just say you're currently in May. Your income that month is going to read out to 600. I don't have any expenses for the month of May. But let's just put equipment expenses in the month of May. Let's put that down here, line 13. And let's say it's in May 15th, right? We had a ring light. So if we go back to our annual summary, we'll now have the month of May equipment expenses as well inside of here listed. So that's how that works. Again, just follow line I. It'll tell you what not to type, where not to type into. And then platform summary is just basically showing, like it does on the dashboard, where your major income is coming from. In this case, coaching. So platform summary is saying that you making most of your income from coaching. But let's say that I change this from coaching, let's move this out the way, to Amazon, right? Let's say you have an Amazon business. When I come back to my dashboard, it's going to say my top platform that I'm making income from is Amazon. Okay, so my platform summary then will show Amazon as the top platform where my money is coming from. I'm very self-explanatory. I tried to keep things as basic, as simple for myself as I can, because I use this as well for my business. I think it'll be very beneficial for people, maybe for you all to use it for yours. Maybe it'll help someone like it's helped me. If you do find any value in this, then definitely leave a review. Let me know. I'll take any criticism for it. I just want to try to share this because how it's helped me and myself for me keeping track of things on my end. But again, I tried to be as user friendly as I could to say what not to touch, what to touch, and basically just look for the stop signs here that say do not type anything in these columns, so forth like that. But anything else as far as that goes is pretty much listed here already. And like I stated, that you want to try to use this based off of the year that you're currently working in. If you do decide to use this for 2027, just save 2026's data and then keep that for your records, as I do, and then I'll make another one for 2027, right? You want to do that for each year so that way you don't start to jumble up your expenses into one. Although you can technically put 2027 on here and keep it going, I would just keep them separate so you can know, tax wise and everything else, what you spent, how your expenses ran for the year. Did you reach your goals? Did you what's your annual income for the year? Like that, those types of things. I mean, it just helps you with better managing your business. But anyway, I hope that this explanation of this Excel spreadsheet for the side hustle income tracker was good for you, good enough for you to use and basically to navigate through the data. And hopefully I explained it well enough and slow enough so that way anybody can come into here and use this Excel spreadsheet. So if you have any questions, definitely by all means feel free to leave me a comment. You can also reach me at the emails that's listed inside of here. That is my email, the RIM method at gmail.com. And I'll try to do my best to help you out if there's any issues or questions. So hopefully you find some benefit in this as I do, and I definitely appreciate your support.